Hey, deserving listeners, 90 Day Fiancé, let's watch. My name is Dr. Kirk Honda. I'm a therapist and a professor. As I always say, everything that I produce in this podcast and YouTube channel may contain triggering material, so watch with care. Truly, let's watch.
Sometimes I feel like you're afraid to take care of stuff, like you're afraid what's going to happen or something.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe I overthink and I try to find what is best. Overthinking and not doing both the things, you can say that.
Okay, so they went to an office to get another passport. Sumit doesn't have his passport because the family took it away and would give it back to him once he's divorced, even though they don't want him to get divorced. So, okay. And in order for them to be together and go to another country, he needs his passport, obviously. So they went to, and so Jenny was like, how come you didn't get the passport? And he's like, well, it's very complicated and there's all these things you have to do. And so they go to the office to get a passport and it's really easy process. And Jenny says, well, that's kind of weird that that was so easy and you kept telling me it was so hard. I wonder why that is. And Jenny provides, which was nice for her to do, a less judgmental conceptualization as to why that would be. It's like, well, maybe you overthink things, or maybe you get kind of bogged down in pessimism and that prevents you from moving forward. And then Sumit says, yeah, maybe I do. Maybe I overthink things. So Jenny, let's rewind that, but this is a really good way to open a conversation. Now we know Jenny, that isn't the only thing she's thinking. She's thinking Sumit doesn't put enough effort into our relationship, into us getting married and being together. And that hurts my feelings. But she doesn't lead with that. She leads with something a little bit more tentative, a little bit more nice, which is this conceptualization. Let's rewind that.
No problem. We can get you another passport. It's frustrating to know how easy this was. What a relief, huh?
Yeah, what a
Finally, some good news in our life. You should have done this a long time ago. Sometimes I feel like you're afraid to take care of stuff, like you're afraid what's going to happen or something.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So if Jenny is trying to figure out why this is a good opener. And it allows Sumit an opportunity to agree without it challenging his, self-esteem, if you will. And then maybe Jenny says, are there any other reasons why this would happen? Now, I've been hypothesizing that Sumit, because of the way he was raised, who knows, total speculation, but he has developed this denial mechanism that allows him to deal with impossible situations. He's in an impossible situation. He obviously loves Jenny, wants to be with her. Obviously loves his parents and doesn't want his mom to kill herself, as she has threatened if they were to get divorced and there was to be this marriage. And he's stuck. He wants to be with Jenny. He doesn't want his mom to die, and he doesn't want to be blamed for that. So he goes into denial about the whole thing of everything's going to be okay. Things are good right now. I'll put off any kind of problem till later, because if I think about that, it'll make me realize that I'm in an impossible situation and there's no way out. And I think disappointing others, maybe even particularly women, maybe even older women, is baked into this process. That he's learned over time that to live life is to disappoint women and people close to me, because there's no other way to live life. And the way I can cope with that is to go into denial about what's happening in the future and to avoid everything. And also to maybe even socialize the situation. I've talked about projective identification, where one recreates a relationship in their current life. But anyway, let's see how this conversation continues, where Jenny might be able to say, okay, I'm glad we agree on this issue. Are there other reasons why you're putting this off? Now, at the core of it, I'm guessing Jenny would like to know, do you love me? Do you really care? Because that would be the worry, natural worry that Jenny would have, is you're not putting effort into us being together, i.e. getting the passport. Does that mean you don't really love me?
What a relief, huh?
Yeah, what a
Finally, some good news in our life. You should have done this a long time ago. Sometimes I feel like you're afraid to take care of stuff, like you're afraid what's going to happen or something.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe I overthink and I try to find what is best. Overthinking and not doing, both the things, you can say that.
Okay, overthinking and not taking any action. I think that's what, not doing both the things. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. I overthink and I do nothing. I think that describes it pretty well, in that he wants to please his mom, wants to deal with his mom, but can't, wants to please Jenny, wants to, be with Jenny, and overthink, and just drops the ball and disappoints everybody.
I agree. I think you have a lot of fear. If I say something, I pretty much act on it and I do it, And I said, before I was coming back to India this time we're getting married for sure. And here we are, still not married.
Okay, so Jenny is laying it out, and she's saying, when I say I'm going to do something, I do it pretty much. And by implication, I would wish that you would do it as well. And by implication, I do that for you. Even if there are things that get in my way, I still follow through and deliver. Now, I don't know if Sumit is receiving it as the way I think she's hoping. Let's see what he says, because he could take that as criticism. He could take it as accusation. He could take it as a little debatable. He could debate back, but if he is differentiated, he would be able to check his feelings and go, okay, what's happening? She's feeling like I don't love her. She's feeling rejected. She's feeling like I'm not delivering, which is an indication of how much I love her. I guess I'm going to have to cut to the heart of it and really convince her, no. I've been dropping the ball, but I love you and I want to be with you. Let's see what he says.
But you know the reason.
But if you're serious about marrying me, then you should marry me then.
Okay.
And that's your response? Just okay?
I will marry you, that's for sure.
You keep saying that. You've been saying that forever, almost.
This is good. From Jenny's perspective, hand on shoulder, pointed and firm in terms of what she's saying, and not screaming and not yelling and not putting a cake in someone's face and not running away and speaking her mind. And he's running into that denial or something where he's like, okay. I think what he's saying when she's like, we have to get married, he's like, yeah, I think what he's saying is, you should know the situation that I'm in with my mom. Now, I think if he wasn't in complete denial, or maybe he doesn't trust Jenny with what his plan is that he's been enacting for 10 years, which is, I'm going to please my mom by not marrying you, but I'm still going to be with you. That's been my contention. That's been my guess, is that he's trying to figure things out with his mom and trying to convince her. But if she's not okay with the marriage, he's not going to marry Jenny, but he's not going to leave Jenny. He's going to be with her. They're going to be together. But anyway, so she's confronting him. He's like, yeah, okay, you know the situation I'm under. And then she says, that's all you just say is okay, because it hurts her feelings. And if he were to trust her more, or to be more aware of this plan that I think has been enacted, he would say, and I've said this before, Jenny, I cannot marry you with my mom the way that she is. And I know that's going to disappoint you. I'm working on my mom. I'm trying, but it's not working, and it might not ever work. And I realize that could be a deal breaker for you, but I have a plan. I just want to be with you. Can we just do a marriage that's not official? Like get married in a religious ceremony, but it's not legal. Maybe that would be okay with my mom. I don't know. But I love you. I want to be with you, but I also don't want my mom to kill herself. You understand? Like that could happen. But I want to be with you. So I will do anything. But can we just level with her? But I think either he's not aware that he's actually doing that, or he isn't, because I'm just seeing things, or he doesn't trust that Jenny will stay with him if he does reveal that. But anyway, so Jenny's like bumping up against that kind of freeze response from him, and she's like, yeah, I know, you keep saying this, but when's it going to happen, buddy?
Since I met you, you've been saying that. Either do it or don't do it. But, do what you want to do. If you want to marry me, then you should marry me. If you don't, then you should tell me so I can go back to America and not be here anymore.
Right, and totally respect that from Jenny, that she's saying, this is a deal breaker. If we're not going to get married, then I'm done. On the other hand, I really wonder if Jenny would do that, because I know she really loves him and wants to be with him, and I wonder if Sumit were to lay out the plan and say, look, we can never be married, but I will do everything in my power so that we are together, whether that means we move around from country to country, or maybe we have to spend a couple months apart every now and then, but but I think what Jenny is interpreting is if Sumit doesn't actually deliver with the marriage, it means he doesn't really love her. And I don't think that's the case. I think that he really does. Now, I've also been wondering if they've been together for 10 years. We don't usually see this on the show. Past year 5, year 7, your passionate love tends to wane a little bit. And if you're going through a difficult time like this, it might be hard to uphold motivation. Even though you really want to be with someone, it's not as compulsive feeling that you feel in the beginning. And I'm wondering if, for both of them, but for particularly Sumit, if he's like, I don't know if this is worth it. I mean, I love her and I want to be with her, but I'm not feeling it as much as I was before. I don't know.
I have never said anything like this to Sumit before, but I think now I'm just getting to a place where I'm just getting tired. Like, I'm done playing this game.
Yeah, makes total sense that you would say, look, we either get married or I'm done. And yeah, it makes sense to me. But again, I wonder if he could lay out the plan and not be in denial and not give her these impressions like he's gonna marry her when he's not, that like he's been doing for the past 10 years. I wonder if she might be like, oh, okay, well, maybe we can make that work.
Well, let's see. As I said, I will marry you.
So let's see. He'll always say that, so let's see. I'm not going to wait forever. I think I've already waited long enough.
Yeah, pretty unconvincing. If you're Jenny, you're thinking, I've been hearing this for years. Okay, yeah, well, let's see. Let's get married. And it's that he's probably said that hundreds, if not thousands of times to Jenny without maybe... Now, so there's two versions. One is that he kind of knows it's not true, or he really does believe it's true. I mean, one of the things that happens when we grow up with certain situations when we're young, and it compels denial or lying, and or both, it becomes neurological, where that it's easier to lie if you believe it. And you will convince yourself of things because you know it'll come out more natural and it'll be believed more by the other person. And so even if you ask yourself, am I telling the truth? You will say, yes, I am telling the truth. Denial is a powerful force. People use it all the time for very reasonable reasons. The problem is when we develop those neurological pathways as children, they're retained into adulthood when those pathways are no longer needed, but they become habitual and used. All right, well, that is it for that episode of Psychology in Seattle. If you didn't know already, we have a Discord and a Facebook fan page and a subreddit and an Instagram, and you can join all those things if you want. If you don't, that's totally cool as well. You can just continue to watch YouTube videos. That's the main thing that we do. And everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.